To give a quick disclaimer, in this video, I will come from a very practical standpoint when I'm speaking of trauma. I know that trauma is spiritual, but we tend to over spiritualize our mental health. And to be blunt, we are very lazy when it comes to working on our mental health in a very practical way. Practicality will give you solutions that will actually work as you are using the word of Yah to speak over your mind and over your emotions. So I just wanted to put this disclaimer as we talk about trauma. Shalom, everyone. We are going to begin to talk about trauma bonding in bite-sized pieces, all right? And we're going to take our time and talk about it, because when we get new information such as trauma bonding, something that we really haven't heard of before, it is rather hard to process all of the information at once. And even though I have talked about it on this channel, I believe that it is time for us to really drive this term home so that we can break the bonds that we are creating with people, okay? Organizations. We're creating bonds at work, in our romantic relationships, and we do not recognize that we are creating these trauma bonds, and we definitely don't know how to get out of a trauma bond. So learn with me the importance of breaking the trauma bond. All right, so let's talk about trauma bonding. What is it? Well, basically, this bond is created inside of toxic relationships. That is with any toxic relationships. And usually people equate trauma bonding to romantic relationships, but that is not so. If you are an African American, all of us have been affected by trauma and generational trauma. So if you have been affected by generational trauma, you are a perfect candidate for trauma bonding. Trauma bonding can happen in any toxic relationship. It doesn't have to be romantic. I want to drive that home. Most of us have been trauma bonded to someone or something in our lifetime, such as this Hebraic awakening, churches, any type of organization, your friends, your work, where you work at, your boss. A lot of us are trauma bonded to our boss. And because we are descendants of enslaved Africans who have been traumatized by our oppressors, the government, the school system, the justice system, the healthcare system, again, we are ripe for the picking for trauma bonding. The reason why you bond with your oppressor or the one who is abusing you, it is because the chemicals or the hormones have bonded to that person. This is a scientific fact, all right? There are chemicals in our brains that keep us bonded. If you know anyone who suffers from drug addiction, or you yourself have suffered from any drug addiction or any addiction, know that this is a part of the bonding that you do to something that can be toxic, right? So it's the same in relationship. Most of us who know people or who have experienced addiction know that the only way to break the addiction is to completely go cold turkey from that thing, like cut off the bond. But we will talk about that later on. But I want you to sit with this, that the chemicals in your brain have bonded to your abuser. It doesn't matter if it's work related. It doesn't matter if it's friends. It doesn't matter if it's your assembly, a church organization, a Greek organization, whatever. You have to break the bond. All right, so as you sit with that, think about it for a minute, and I will get right back with you all with the kind of chemicals that bond to your oppressor or to your abuser. Remember, this is not just about romantic relationships. This is about all relationships that are toxic. All right, until the next video, shalom, everyone.